screen on this stream. You are live in the action. You at home, who is watching this via VOD probably because nobody's here yet. Welcome.
Hello, people of the future.
It is Dungeons and Dragons Wednesdays, I guess.
How was the popularity of the last VOD?
A bit. Hang on. I can pull up the numbers. Let me look. I'm gonna open my own Twitch page on my Twitch stream.
Oh my god.
Look at me. I'm such a narcissist. Oh, hey, this person is streaming. Look at that.
The attention of others is the only validation I can
Oh no.
get.
Hang on.
Oh, it's the worst.
Hang on.
It's the worst.
Oh
I'm
god,
just-
it's madness. Oh,
It just
shit.
keeps
Oh,
going.
God.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Oh, oop.
So this is what we're doing now.
Why are they
Um,
like moving?
What do you mean?
They're like changing colors. The inner windows.
Huh. Oh, because I'm mousing over the thing, and that's built. I gotta mute this. I can't think. Anyway, the VODs are somewhere. Where are my VODs? They're in my video producer. I can see how many views they had. That one received about higher views than most of my VODs have been, and it sort of kicked up the past couple VODs that I've did up to that level, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Level up.
Yay.
Totally original D&D streaming idea.
Yeah, nobody's done this before. Absolutely nobody. Anyway,
It does seem like all the audio is going fine.
fantastic. Alrighty.
Since I'm laying down, I won't be able to keep an eye on chat effectively.
That's alright. I can keep it open over here.
Okay.
Can I get a pop out of this window? Is that possible? Maybe, but I'm not going to dally any further. I'm going to start the stream. So yes, in the previous part of Taurus and Henders case file number 174, our contract adventurers had arrived in the town of Devil's Pit and met their client, one rancher baron, Toril Gunderson. Their bill of sale had been stolen by somebody. They aren't sure who, and they aren't sure how they did it. And so, the group began investigating and determined a few key clues. A, that the theft was performed by somebody with some degree of magical aptitude. And B, later on, after a tense round of gambling, that the person who actually physically went into the house and took the bill was local con artist Gideon Crawford, who they apprehended at the Graveyard, the saloon in town, and currently have shackled to the wrist of one of the party members, Dirty Dan. As you all step outside of the Graveyard Saloon, the sun, which when you first arrived in town was beating down hard from directly above you in the sky, has lowered a bit, and there is sort of a light cloud cover, creating, as you look across this plain, these plains, this sort of dappled effect along the ground, spots of sunlight moving and shifting with the cloud cover overhead. You surmise, there is no clock tower in this town, but you surmise that it is around 3 p.m., and you have until 6 p.m. tomorrow to have all of this figured out.
I might have a clock in my little walker.
Yeah, maybe Teacup has a chronometer of some sort, and is keeping track of everything. Anyway, so there's the recap. For those of you who got stuck with the VOD, where the first 50 minutes were bugged and there was no audio. I complained about that enough on my stream earlier today. I'm not going to do it again.
You can, if you wanted to.
Fill up time? No, I think we've got enough to get through.
Just wait for some viewers to filter in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you step out of the graveyard. You see the stagecoach that you have all been riding in, driven by one Jack Packard, assistant to Mr. Gunderson. In his boredom, as you spent several hours in a saloon, he has pulled out a banjo and begun idly plucking away. When he sees you all come out, he sort of straightens to attention and sits back up in his seat, looking at you and your prisoner.
We don't have
Hello?
time to explain. Just get in.
All right. Where to, folks?
I turn to everybody. So what do we want to do? Do we want to go up to the other farms? What are we feeling, folks?
Well, as I recap, he didn't tell us where the dead drop was, did he?
He didn't give he did not give specifics, but it was a while away from Gunderson's ranch, just sort of out into the desert, is what he said.
Might be a place to start.
Yeah, me. Oh, go ahead.
Is anything left in town? Or outside town only place left?
I think that's all we had left to do here.
That was your main lead that you had in town, but there are still plenty of people in town who you could question. You pretty much went straight to the saloon when you got here.
I mean, I feel mighty awkward questioning people with a shady man like him chained to me.
Well,
I don't think they would take me seriously.
I don't appreciate being called shady, but I must say...
I mean, what else do you call a con artist like yourself?
He got you there.
Resent that statement. But if you all wanted to drive yourselves out of town and go and investigate the dead drop, I could point you in the correct direction.
Hearing a kind of a feeling you want something.
I'd like to not be shackled to your compatriot here. I'd like to be able to leave town and get on with my life after all of this.
Well, let's start with how far the dead drop is away from us.
Couple of miles, maybe? I was going by horse. It's hard to judge the distance. Yes, northeast of here, past that big bluff, and out a ways. It's a small hand pump for water next to a big old cactus. Jammed the bill up into the pipe.
Monica just takes his face and just stares at him. Yeah. Do I think he's telling the truth with a fucking 5, or do I think he's a liar?
He doesn't seem like he's in a position to lie right now, but...
Just turn, I go, I think he's telling the truth. I think we're fine.
Would Teacup, since she grew up in the desert, would she have, like, geographical knowledge of what he's talking about?
Geographical knowledge. I mean, there are a lot of, like, abandoned settlements where all that's left of them is their plumbing. So a random hand pump in the middle of the desert isn't exactly a rare sight. There's a lot of desert to go around. You probably know of a couple places that this could be, most of which are rather far away from here, but a couple of which are within the realm of possibility.
Okay. I will just keep that in mind.
All right. Yes, I suppose if you all wanted to drag me out into the middle of the desert, I've just given you a prime location. At least I'll have some water if you leave me stranded.
Good idea.
He is so dramatic. My God. All right, come on. I guess to there.
Jack nods and gives a "Hyah!" and a whip of the reins, and the horses drawing your stagecoach begin moving. He heads up the north road back to Gunderson's ranch, and then turns off to the right and heads out. Every now and again, Crawford sticks his head out of the window, looks out a bit, and shouts some more specific directions up to Mr. Packard. And it's definitely more than a handful of miles, maybe 10, 12. It's a ways away. It takes a good deal of time.
Would it take over an hour?
Over an hour? Maybe close to an hour.
Would it be enough for a short rest?
Sure.
Yeah, Warlock spell slots back.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be the entire game.
I'm just gonna cast Find Familiar the whole time, kind of whistling, and once we finally get to where we need to be, you just hear a bit of like a rattling kind of whistling, and a little bird falls on my shoulder, and it is this little zombie bird.
Adorable.
Okay.
It's like a little blue
Whoa.
jay, but half of its face is rotted, with just a skeleton. I'm like, oh,
Well,
Bluey.
Lucky takes partial exception to this.
Oh, that's so metal.
Oh, hi,
That's-
Bluey. How you doing,
That's a
honey?
little disturbing.
Excuse you.
I, for one, think it's a little bit cute.
Shut up. You don't get an opinion here. But thank you.
All right. Yes, so it's this water pipe right here, and he sort of kneels down by it, which tugs at your wrist a little bit, Dan.
I stop him. I was like, you don't touch it. And now I'll stick my hand in.
Right? You stick your hand in. It's a pretty narrow pipe. You can get a couple fingers in there. You reach up, around, sort of feeling for it. It's bare metal pipe. He may have put the bill here, but if he did, it's not here anymore.
Hold up.
Is it very windy
Would it
around
be
here?
easier?
And I like grab him by the mancle wrist and pull him close.
Oh, hold on.
We've been had. There ain't no fucking bill here.
Can I try?
I suggest you hear the little one out.
I have tiny little arms. Would I be able to reach? Can someone hold me?
I pick her up.
All right. You lift Teacup up a little bit. She reaches up in there. Hello, welcome to the stream. She reaches up in there, feels around. Still no bill.
No.
Well, then my
Wow.
associate must have already taken it. It
I
was.
really thought he wasn't lying.
I.
Wait. Associate. Who?
I don't know.
That's the one who hired him?
Yes, that's the one. I don't know
you
who
can't
it was.
hear this. I'm talking in the fancy voice. It's telepathic.
I see. It was the person who hired me. I don't know who they were, but they sent me a letter with all the details on the job. It sounded good. It paid well. So,
Did you ever see them in person?
not once. That's
I roll a perception to look for any tracks or prints or anything?
yeah, you sure can. Alrighty. You see a few sets of hoof prints, the distinctive mark of shoed horses that are being ridden by people, and one set of tracks from a stagecoach other than your own. The stagecoach seems to head back off to Greener's ranch. But all of the other horse tracks just lead off in various directions. No one direction that those go.
Can we tell
Now,
which
did he
one's
say he took a
freshest
horse
left?
or a coach?
Sorry?
Did he say he took a horse or a coach?
Gideon took a horse out to the dead drop.
Wait, no, the carriage tracks aren't ours, are they?
They're not. There are
Alright, so I will
yours
point
in the
these
same.
carriage tracks out to people. Because
Okay.
I feel like carriages aren't the sort to wander randomly into the desert.
I have to be honest with you all here. I mean, the point of a dead drop is that, one person passes something off to another person without those two people being in the same place. I don't know who hired me. I told you I brought the bill out here and stuffed it into the pipe, and I did do that. And at some point in the intervening, 3 days, let I remind you it has been days since this transpired, somebody must have come and picked it up.
Wait, can I see that letter?
Letter, what?
Didn't your friend hand you a letter telling you blah blah blah? I'll give you lots of money, put it here.
Let's see. He, with his one free hand, he sort of goes through his coat pockets, and he pulls out a piece of parchment. Looks relatively fresh. Has penciled onto it a set of instructions in fairly neat handwriting.
Can I investigate just kind of the paper, see if there's anything off with it? Look over them with the the little eyeglass, see if I recognize oh, that's kind of really expensive pen, or that's really cheap pencil. Tell anything about this.
All right. Yeah. Give me an investigation check. All right. The paper seems fairly high quality, but the pencil, on the other hand, very low. You see there are a few spots where a bit of the pencil lead chipped off, and there's a big smudge on the paper. The enchanted eyeglass that you pocketed from Mr. Gunderson shows a few marks, but most of them seem to be areas where this sort of pencil mishap happened, and they had to scratch out a word and write it again. Other than that, nothing particularly off about it. Fancy stationery, but bad writing implement.
The letter?
What?
How did he say he received the letter?
Oh, well, I didn't, but I can now. I was, 2 towns over, some, Bad Moon Gulch, something generic like that. And it arrived by post. Does that give you anything to work with? No return address on the envelope, sadly, or I would have kept it. It was simply dropped through my front door.
Can I investigate all the tracks to see which one's the freshest?
Yeah.
Nine.
The carriage tracks seem fresh. You're unsure precisely what you're looking for, and given that the carriage tracks are already the standout, given that the rest of it is hoof prints, maybe you're misreading that, but the carriage tracks seem fresher.
I'm gonna look at Bluey, and just kind of turn and say, "Hey, little fella, do you mind doing me a favor? Can you just go fly out, see if you see anyone around here?" And I'm just gonna go send Bluey out, just to kind of circle up above, um, as far as they want, like
Mhm.
up to a mile, just kind of doing a round circle to see if they see anything. And when they come back, we'll talk.
All right. The bird gives you a raspy tweet and flutters off of your shoulder and
Don't
up
like
into the air.
that.
Now the blue jay is not a predatory animal, so we're not talking like hawk levels of vision here, but it takes a wide circle over. Down the road from Gunderson's, a stagecoach is approaching the city. And far off in the distance, there is a set of railway tracks and 2 horses running alongside that. Down at Greener's place, large herds of animals are moving about beside this pretty jeweled lake. Other than that, you seem to be in the middle of nowhere.
Once Bluey comes back, and I just like describe everything Bluey saw. Just say, well, so that's kind of where everything is in the distance. What are you guys feeling?
I feel like, well, to put all of our options out on the table, we have the town itself to look over more. We have Mr. Greener, who should be talked to anyway, because he has motive and probably the means to do all this. We have, what else do we have? We could investigate this girlfriend, which I don't believe we have much of a lead on. Or we could talk to the local sheriff. But is there a local sheriff, actually?
Oh, there's a Jack. Jack Packard leans off of the front of the stagecoach. There's a local lawman. He well, he weren't much help to Mr. Gunderson when we first asked, but you could give him a ring. But frankly, he's got his nose in books and letters more often than he's got it in the town.
In that case, we could talk to him, because if it is Black Scabbard and he's mucking about, he would need to have some form of normal income, because outlaws don't exactly, make a living. They take a living. So if we have reports of people going missing or things being stolen, that could point to him.
Worth a shot, I guess. Yeah, that seems to be your options. The kobold speaks.
The kobold does speak. Can I investigate the wagon tracks to see if there's any little identifying features? It probably doesn't have tread, but if there's a loose wheel, any random piece of debris.
Yeah. Do give me an investigation check on that. One of the wheels seems to be maybe misaligned, or it has a small hitch. The track for that wheel kind of wavers back and forth, but that's not exactly an uncommon problem.
It's true.
Monica just shrugs and says, well, we're running out of time. I guess we just pick a random way. And she takes out a gold coin. All right.
Greener.
heads- Yes. Heads, we go to greener. Tails, we're just gonna go back into town, right?
I have both.
Sounds good.
All right. One is gonna be heads.
I really
Do it right.
appreciated that.
2, so we're going back to town.
Back
Alright.
into town it is. All right, everybody, pile in. And with
And the whole time that we're... No, we can't hear you, Thomas.
oh, is Thomas having difficulties?
Yeah, we can't hear you, Tom.
Not
Um,
again.
But the whole time we are going, I do have Bluey kind of circling around us.
All right, eyes in the sky. So with another yeah and a whip of the reins, you are heading back into town. By
Back-
the
back we
time
go.
by the time you get there, it's about 5. And this is your sort of list of things that may or may not be of interest. There is still the saloon, the graveyard. You could go back to that. You haven't been to the chapel. The gunsmith is closed when you arrive, actually. But the barbershop and the general store still open, and there is also the sheriff's office and small jail.
I mean, do we want to try the sheriff's office, see if they know anything?
That sounds like a good idea to me.
5 o'clock, I'm guessing, because it's still the Wild Wild West. It's still pretty bright outside at
Yes.
5. All right, I do my usual bullshit of just jumping in the sheriff's office, closing all the goddamn windows, and then just letting a few dancing lights around.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us just like shuffle in awkwardly. Hey, hello.
A clean-shaven man with a small pair of glasses sort of looks up from, it looks to be some sort of ledger or maybe timetable. Welcome. You surprised me there, closing all of my blinds. But
Points to body.
yeah, I get you. Anyhow, welcome to the sheriff's department. What can I do you for?
Well, your job for one, but more importantly, we have quite a lot of issues going around your town. There was a robbery.
Oh,
and-
right, that business up at Gunderson's ranch. Now, I presume you're working on behalf of Mr. Gunderson. I already
Right.
I already told him we did what we could. It's just me, Deputy Tanner, and his best friend who's okay with a gun. That's all we got out here. We can't go, busting down doors and interrogating folks, just
You
to
can
get
sit
back
here
a.
read a book.
Well, listen, once, a fight breaks out at the saloon or a gang tries to take over the town, that's the sort of thing that I can do. Mr. Gunderson clearly has the funds to hire outside assistance for a job like this, and I think that is the sort of assistance that is needed. I cannot be everywhere. I cannot divine the truth from tea leaves. I can only do so much, and I done did everything I already could. Now, do you have any leads? Because if you have leads, I might be able to get you some headway on those. But, failing that,
We just point to the man we have tied to Dirty Dan. We got one.
Well, hell. Is that Gideon Crawford? I knew somebody would catch you on something. Now, I guess, does, I mean, if it was him, then you don't need my help, but you could throw him in a cell right here.
I mean, technically, it was halfly him. Because someone hired him to do it.
You
well,
don't have it.
damn. That's, well, that's what I got. Goodness. So, Gideon
How have
Crawford.
things been here lately?
We've had, there have been a couple people, coming into town complaining that they got scuffled by somebody out on the road. Some local legend. I don't
Could you-
remember.
Scabbard?
Black Scabbard, something like that. And you know, it's any mean looking person with a gun is Black Scabbard if you're afraid of Black Scabbard. So I say that's not the town's problem. That's a problem on the roads outside of town, and that's outside of my jurisdiction.
Jesus Christ. All right. Just where? And I pull out like a map of the area. Where did you see that? Where's the report been come from?
All over the place. Like I'm saying, we had a couple coming in, a fur trader from southwest of here, and they said they got hit by Black Scabbard on the same night that somebody driving a stagecoach for Josiah Greener said that he got hit by Black Scabbard, and he's just all over the place. I do not see that this could be an actual person. That's what I'm trying to drive at here, is that this isn't I ain't never known a bandit that could teleport. All right, now maybe
I have, but that's not important.
that fucking
What-
shows me, I guess.
What is important though, what is very important though is that can you just show where on this map all these different types of occurrences been happening?
He sort of rifles through his desk drawers for a pencil, pulls one out and sketches a couple of circles on the map. And there's the one on the road from here to Greener's Ranch. There's a couple sort of scattered up to the north past the bluffs closer to Gunderson's Ranch. There's a couple southwest, like he said. And they all seem pretty disjointed, but as you take a look at it, it sort of forms a loose circle around the town.
Where was the where was the last attack in, if we're looking like northwest, southeast?
The most recent one was just a mile or so south of the town, like directly south.
We could check up on that.
Yeah, I mean maybe we do a we follow this circle around town.
It does feel rather. No, I am not a bandit. I make my money taken from people in other ways, but it seems odd to have a circle around the town. Doesn't it?
Well, they could be circling around.
Well, I
from
mean,
every
yeah,
place that
obviously,
comes in.
like for random bandits, just happening to. You know what I mean.
She shrugs. Well, I don't really got a better idea than to just go around.
Neither do I.
if you all want to go chasing ghosts, then, fine by me, but, if this doesn't turn up anything worth salt, don't say I didn't warn you. I will say, though, every single one of the attacks I've heard of has happened at night, so if you want to investigate the sign of a previous attack, I'd do it during the day so he doesn't come back.
Oh, see, that's the issue. We want him to come back.
Yeah.
Well,
Unless we're good at our jobs.
I will high five everybody.
Hello, can you hear me?
Well, low five.
yes!
Hello, Tom.
Hello, welcome
Finally.
back.
Thomas has
Why did
returned.
My laptop randomly muted my microphone in the middle. Ah!
So sorry,
Aw.
were you thinking we were ignoring you the whole time? Sorry, Thomas, we don't want to hear what you have to say. Sorry.
That's just everybody, but damn, no one's that blunt about it.
Aw.
No, we would never do that on purpose. I'm
We would
happy it
never.
works again.
Yeah.
No, it's just my laptop. It's like, nah, you got nothing to say this time.
Discord
Welcome
is just
back.
like that. Anyway, do you need a recap on any of that?
Yes, please. All of it from when I stopped having sound go.
Okay, so you went back into town. Decided by a coin flip either go back into town or go and talk to Mr. Greener. You wound up going back into town. And you went to the sheriff's office. You found the sheriff, and this town does not have a very robust law system. It's literally 3 people, only 2 of whom are actual lawmen. And they said that Gunderson had already approached them about the whole problem and that they had done everything that they could.
I.e. nothing.
I.e. nothing. Your party members started questioning them about Black Scabbard, the sheriff, along with 2 of the other people that you've talked to about Black Scabbard, which is to say all 3 people you've talked to about Black Scabbard are convinced that he is a local legend and nothing more. But the sheriff circled a couple spots on a map where supposed sites of attacks by Black Scabbard have been, and they form sort of a rough circle around the town. So I guess the plan is that after nightfall, you're all going to go to one of those and stake it out. But
We'll
Yeah.
just investigate to see if we find anything.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
let's not wait too much. Waiting's a bad idea when we're on a time crunch.
I think we
Yeah,
should
why
just
don't we,
reverse.
I mean,
Go from the last, and then at nighttime we'll end up at the most recent one. Like we explore everything and make our way to the most recent one when it's night.
Ooh. Is there a trend with the sightings? Like, are they following a pattern, or are they just randomly, like time-wise, chronologically?
chronologically, other than that they're always at night, not really. They're pretty sporadic.
can I flash my deputy's badge and say, now you wouldn't hold information from a fellow lawman, now would you? We need all the help we can get.
But he said,
Give me a persuasion check.
Fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Charismatic as fuck.
Nice.
24, boy!
I heard that clapping.
Now, yeah, Mr. Gunderson, I don't know what he has, told you all. Now, listen. The man is a lot of things. Successful, chiefly among them.
The man's a lot of things. First among them being rich.
That is my driving point, is that, well, you don't get that rich legitimately. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the man's a criminal, because, well, he ain't, or I'd have him. But,
Uh-huh.
I'd say think carefully.
I think everyone gives him a kind of a yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
I'd
Insight
just
check.
say,
Do I believe him?
yeah, sure, give me an insight check. I'd just say, be careful around anything that man gives you. Anything, information, money, anything. Be careful around that man.
He seems very trustworthy to me.
Privately, psychically, to be honest, we're not being paid to trust him. We're being paid to get him his stuff back. Whether or not that stuff is gotten back legally is entirely inconsequential.
Hmm.
Am I wrong?
Just shrug. I don't know, my man. Oh, wait. I don't know. I mean, I think we should just, scout out, go around, see what we can dig up.
And there were those like cart tracks that seemed pretty fresh. We could always follow those for a bit.
You know
we
what
should
this sounds
we should
like?
check in on Greener no matter what.
This sounds like we gotta do a split up.
Who wants to go
Jasmine.
with? So who wants to do what?
I immediately, without like even a blink, just pick up my dear, dear little friend and put her in her little satchel on my front, the baby's bib.
Whee!
I call dibs on Teacup.
Yay! I'll hug your neck from the back.
Yeah. Teacup's backpack ride. I love it.
Oh no, I have
Teacup
Teacup
not
in the
being
front,
small,
so
I
she can
guess.
see everything.
Oh, like one of those things.
A little baby Bjorn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the front one. I don't want you missing anything.
that's adorable.
Also, it acts as like makeshift armor in case someone hits you in the front.
Mm,
And she is chunky enough for that.
I
Oh,
am
okay.
unreasonably tanky.
yeah, she's the 2 foot tall miniature kobold is the tank of the party. I feel like we don't stress this enough.
I don't understand what happened with my health.
I'm a
In-
bird. You realize I have literally hollow bones.
Hollow bones.
I can't even fly as a trade-off.
Not just hollow. I would like to point out about birds. Not just hollow. Their bones have their lungs in them.
Jesus fuck.
Forgotten that
What?
part.
Bird,
Sorry, wait, what?
Birds' bones have their lungs in them. They're not just hollow. That space is used by the bird for lungs. And I find that fact really, really bad to think about.
Yeah, that's awful, actually.
Hilarious.
I don't like it.
To be fair, we make blood with our bones. so-
That's true.
Okay,
Oh.
ew.
Okay, so they have special air sacs in addition to their lungs, and the gases flow through their bones.
Yes.
Alright, I think we've squicked out everyone in chat at this point. Moving on.
Yep.
Like, how does the blood get out
Nightmares.
of the bone?
Enjoy your nightmares, kids.
Very, very thin capillaries, I assume. But let's stop talking about biology and let's start talking about Dungeons and Dragons. So we've got 2 groups. Lucky and Dan, Monica and Teacup. One of them being... I'll say for simplicity's sake, because I can assume this is the direction that the answers are going to go. One of the teams has the person who's very insistent about talking to Mr. Greener, and one of the teams has the person who's very insistent about checking out the wreckage sites. So can we assume that those teams are going to do those things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, Monica, you said you wanted to start with the oldest.
Yeah, and then as night creeps along, make it to like the most recent site.
All right.
And the whole time I'll have Bluey just always circling ahead, like around us.
Alrighty. So, we'll start with Monica and Teacup then. At this point, the clock has rolled around to 6 p.m. as you all head north to the site of the reported robbery that was nearer to Gunderson's ranch. you are dropped off by the stagecoach, which then circles back around. Lucky and Dan still within to go to the Greener Ranch. And at this first sight, you all see, well, not much of anything. There's about one location of interest in a small sort of divot in the dirt off to the side of the road. There looks to be an abandoned campsite. But other than that, it is just road and a desert and a couple of bushes.
I look at Teacup, I put her down and say, you want to look around here? See if we can find
Yes.
anything? Whatever Teacup wants to do, I'll assist her.
I will.
She doesn't even fucking need me. She doesn't need me, I'm just...
I guess I'm just gonna, like, get down really close to the ground. Maybe like a magnifying glass or whatever.
Aw.
Just, comb over it.
All right. Here's what you learn. The campsite here hasn't been used in a couple of days. The ashes are cold, and most of them seem to have been washed away by light rains. You're in one of the few sort of quote-unquote established roads in the area, so footprints and carriage tracks and all that completely out the window. There's too many of them. But in one of the bushes nearby the scene, you find a couple of brass casings. Somebody fired a gun from this position, judging by your intuition, toward the road, maybe.
I will collect them because they are shiny.
Okay.
If
Put
I
them
see
in a
that, I
little
go,
pouch.
damn, Teacup, you find everything. Do
Yeah.
you mind if I look at that?
Yeah, and she'll just hold them up in both hands
Yeah.
and just.
Teacup is up on her tippy toes trying to hand you these casings, and you still have to lean down a little bit to grab them out of her hands.
I'm gonna, just, if there's a shady area, go sit down on it, have my hat pulled over, and just gonna kind of look over this thing if there's anything I can find. Like, any knowledge, like, who uses this type of, what type of gun does this belong to? Do I know who most likely uses this type of gun? Is this like a rancher gun? Is this like an outlaw gun?
All right, give me an investigation check.
This like Red Dead Redemption where you just have like the cattleman's gun, the
Yeah.
outlaw gun.
So these are long and fairly thin cartridges, and judging by smell, they are firing black powder casings, not smokeless. So this is probably an older gun. You've worked on farms and ranches before. You're familiar with the sort of gun that a farmer would keep to sort of ward off varmints. And this seems like maybe something of that sort of caliber, figuratively. Yeah, so it's not exactly top of the line weaponry that you're dealing with here. It's hard to say whether that comes from an outlaw trying to scrape by, or sort of poor farmer, or what.
Did the sheriff tell us, at each of these sites, who was attacked?
The person coming down from this site who was attacked was one of the ranch hands who run Gunderson's ranch for him, coming down into town to pick up some supplies.
Okay. I just look at Teacup. This is from a pretty low quality gun. The last person here was a ranch hand. So, probably, was them shooting at something.
And I didn't find any, like, blood or any sort of stuff like that, so they obviously got away. Unless they were kidnapped.
Everybody who the sites you were given were sites that were reported, so
Right.
everybody.
They obviously got away. At least, could I have known how many people stayed at that camp? Was it just one person? I don't know how this would help, but
looking at the small campsite next to the road, there are sort of two spots of less disturbed dirt. You gather maybe there were cushions or blankets or something. But two spots.
But only one person was reported.
Yep, the stagecoach that was robbed was being driven by one person.
But there was two people here outside of, like, the robber. Okay. I'll look down. Teacup. Teacup,
yeah.
hear me out. What,
Okay.
what if this is just a conspiracy by the people that work on this farm? Because it was reported that one person was here, and he works for Gunderson. But there was obviously two people that were here. He just failed to mention that there was a second person.
Well, I mean, realistically, it may not have exactly come up in the natural flow of the conversation.
Well, I would
But-
say, hey, me and my friend Teacup were fucking attacked on the road. Why would he say I was attacked and not mention the other person?
Well, no, not that part, because it's like second or third hand information for us, right? So it probably just got kind of lost.
Did we lose
in-
someone just now?
No, that was just the music. I'll re-put it on. I just shrug.
I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong or anything. It's definitely a possibility. They smelled funny to begin with, so
Bless you, teacup.
Well, all right, and I
it's
pick
more
Teacup.
intriguing at the very least.
I pick Teacup back up, and I'm like, all right, back to walking, I guess.
I want to imagine teacup makes that sound every time she's picked up.
Of course,
Yeah,
she loves getting
the-
picked up.
The pouch that Teacup made for us, like that we can all share. I pull out some snacks and I start sharing it with Teacup as we begin walking.
Alrighty.
I just realized, technically, actually, we don't need to, because just to say, I'll spend those psychic dice, and we can still communicate telepathically over like infinite range. So
So you can,
keep us all caught up.
in bursts after all of these investigations, you can relay this information to the rest of the group. Meanwhile, as you all walk to the next site, let's tune into Lucky and Dan.
Now, Dan, my boy, unfortunately, I do not have the linguistic skills to negotiate myself into a position of trust at the moment.
I mean, you seem pretty articulate to me.
That's because I'm speaking in your brain.
Gotcha.
I'm a Kenku, Dan. I do not have a voice. I take the voice of others, much like I take their money. So, if you could do the talking, I will keep my eyes out for suspicious activity and pocket any evidence I happen upon.
Well, I got an idea. How about I make you invisible and you come in invisible with me and you can scope out the whole place while I'm talking?
That also works.
For what it's worth, if Gideon could hear any of the things that Lucky said, he would like you a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I was muted, I forgot to mention that I wanted to leave him handcuffed back at the little water pipe thing in the desert.
take it that Gideon and Lucky are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
So can we just say that happened?
Canonically, you did bring him to the sheriff's office with you. You can leave him
Damn.
chained up in the jail there.
Yeah, I'll just
if
I'll
that's
leave
a-
him in the jail so I can take my manacles with me.
If that's a suitable substitute for a water pump in the desert. So yeah, you've left Gideon.
Oh yeah, we'll just tell him that we told the sheriff that he admitted to helping out with the crime, so he's now fully a criminal and can be charged against the law.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we told him.
Yeah, that information was given, so you've got that. Yes, so you reach this ranch, much like the ride up to Gunderson's ranch. Slowly, things become more grassy and floral as you progress down the road. But whereas Gunderson's ranch was much more tall, dry grass and very yellow, the grass here is verdant and flowers and trees are blooming. There are even a couple of wild animals. And as you sort of crest a hill and get a look over Josiah's ranch, you can see that this is because there is a large natural lake on his property, providing a great deal of fresh water to all of the animals here, being fed by a stream down the mountain, whereas Gunderson's ranch's source of water is a small spring. So as you pass into this ranch, seeing a large sign over the front gate that says "Welcome to Greener Pastures." Yeah.
That's pretty good. I gotta give it to him.
I hate this man already.
I presume Lucky is made invisible.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And you ride in. There are many more active hands here, and a much less substantial ranch house. It's more of a bunk, really. And you ask to speak to Mr. Greener, and you are pointed in the direction of the stables. And when you get there, you find he is cleaning them, pitchfork in hand, just working on the animal leavings. It's this tall, gaunt man. You can tell he has worked for a great deal of his life. He has just this sun-reddened brow, and this long gray hair that sort of trails halfway down his back. Small sort of goatee. And he turns around, doffs his hat, and fans himself with it a little bit. He's sweating in his shirt.
Well, my welcomes to you. Welcome to Greener Pastures. You saw the sign. Anyway, how can I help you?
Well, howdy there, Mr. Greener. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Gunderson.
Instantly, before you continue speaking, instantly his expression sours a little bit.
Well,
Not this shit again.
Now, I know the history between you two. And even though I'm technically under his employ, I am a third party. You see, an unfortunate mishap has happened over at the Gunderson Farms, and he's lost a very important piece of paper.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. We've all heard about it. You said that you know the history between me and Mr. Gunderson. What is that history that you've heard? Could you perhaps enlighten me?
Well,
Before
nothing
this
too
gets-
specific.
Before I
Go
get
ahead.
too deep, just to be clear of the kind of layout, is there like an obvious ranch house like Mr. Gunderson's, or is this more humble?
There is it is definitely a lot more humble. There's not like a big opulent building. There is a sort of seemingly two-story log cabin, with some lights on and some smoke coming out of the chimney. You figure that's sort of the central building here.
As Mr. Grinner is being talked to, I'm going to invisibly poke around see if there's any obvious way in that wouldn't. See if there's like a window I can climb in through or something like that. Or if the door is just left open.
The door is slightly ajar. It's quite warm, so they have reason to do so.
I will slip in, and I won't interrupt this scene anymore, but later I'd like to get into me snooping around.
Okay. So, Dirty Dan, if you would carry on.
Well, he hasn't told me nothing too specific, just that there's been some bad blood between you two. Being rivals in business and whatnot.
Bad blood is how he puts it. That's Gunderson for you. It's,
Yeah, he didn't strike me as the honest type, if I'm speaking the truth here.
let me tell you something about Mr. Gunderson. Well, he ain't from here. He came into town about a year ago. And mysteriously, shockingly, he managed to set up a ranch on the second best plot of land within 200 miles. And mysteriously, somehow, managed that opulent ranch house and those big fields full of all those fat animals. Did you see any dirt on his shoes when you went over?
Did I see any dirt on his shoes when I went over?
You did not. He was wearing a pristine white linen suit.
No, quite the opposite. He's wearing pristine white clothing. Quite fancy duds, if you ask me.
Mr. Gunderson may call himself a rancher. He ain't. He don't do the work. No, he buys land, and he buys people. Now, some might call that employment. I call it theft. And he forces them to work on his ranch, and then he uses all the money he accrues from that to buy another plot of land. And then, well, it's a toss-up. Does he turn that land into a ranch, or does he sell it to the government? He does one of those two things, and then with all the money he gets from that, he goes on and does it somewhere else. I said he got the second best plot of land within 200 miles, and that's because I am currently sitting upon the first, and I reckon that man wants any excuse to take it from me.
So it really does seem like the history between you two is pretty bloodied, but I gotta ask this because it's my job. You had nothing to do with the theft that happened on his ranch, now did you? And I watched like every like little characteristic of his face, looking for like anything that seems dishonest.
As he says no, give me an insight check.
Yeah, it's not bad. 15.
He is, he's very straight-laced. There's a sort of satisfaction about him, but it reads more like Mr. Gunderson is getting what's coming to him, less than, haha, I got away with a crime, I'm so happy about myself.
He's shedding no tears, but he didn't necessarily do it.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you mean?
Yeah. I don't know who would have done that to Mr. Gunderson, but I'd say with how long he's been at this, I don't know about dwarves, 200, 300 years, what? But with how long he's been at this whole
robbery game, then
Wait, what race is he?
Mr. Gunderson is a dwarf.
Oh, I thought he was human. I'm like, all right, guys, we got a warlock. We can pack it up now.
Mm. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying is, Mr. Gunderson sent some men to burn down one of my barns once. So,
Did he now?
he did. So, if,
Do you mind if I poke around it? See if I can find anything?
oh, it's all been rebuilt now. That was,
Okay.
that was ages ago. But, that's the story with Mr. Gunderson. The man's a liar and he's a cheat.
So you don't know anybody who might have the motivation or the skills to pull this off, or hire somebody else to pull it off?
I'm sure he's made himself a lot of rich enemies. No.
Do you know anything about the local legend, the Black Scabbard?
Black Scabbard. One of my men says he got hit by him.
Oh, did he now? Do you mind pointing me to the man who said he's a victim?
Oh yeah, that would be Jonah. And he walks out, points over towards, there's a pen with a bunch of cattle in it, and Jonah is sort of straddling the fence, talking to somebody else. Meanwhile, while you go and shift your conversation over to him, Lucky, give me a stealth check, and you've got advantage on that since you physically cannot be seen.
All right.
Hollow
I think a
bones.
27's good.
A 27 is pretty good. Hollow bones. They can't hear you either.
I can't fly, but I'm still light on my feet.
Yeah. So you imitating with your voice the sound of rushing wind, you push the door open slightly and worm your way in. A woman who is sitting by a hearth, stirring a pot of something that smells delicious, steps over and closes it, and you are now inside the ranch house. There are a set of stairs sort of across the room from you that lead up to the second floor, and there's a hallway leading down into a series of rooms.
Any of these rooms open, or are they all closed?
One room has the door open, and you creep down the hallway towards it, and it doesn't look like there's anybody inside.
What does it look like? An office or a bedroom, or?
It appears to be a bedroom. Sort of a full living space. There's a wash basin, and a large bed, many bookshelves. You gather that one of the ranch hands lives in this room.
All right, nothing worth investigating here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna slowly creep upstairs then, because I figure that's where, if there is an office, that's where it's going to be.
Right. Deftly dodging one board of the stairs that looks particularly creaky, you make your way upstairs, and sure enough, the room up here does seem to be an office. Give me an investigation check.
Damn it! Nope.
I
I suppose I could use perception.
You can give it a shot. Yeah, I suppose you're making a pretty general search of the room. See if anything catches your eye. There are a few open letters on the desk in the office. One of them reads about a successful sale. For a moment that catches your eye, but this is of sheep, not of cows. So nothing to do with the investigation at hand. And then there's one from Mr. Gunderson.
And the letter is sort of about water rights in the town of Devil's Pit and the surrounding area. The information that you can draw from it is that Greener sort of leaves the lake water sort of open to the people if anybody needs to stop by the ranch to draw some water from the lake or to fish or whatever. He is sort of allowing them that opportunity, and that he has the water market on the town cornered, but he's not charging. Gunderson implores him to try some of the well water from a pump outside the city, the very pump that you all went and investigated regarding the bill of sale, and see how much the quality differs from that of the lake, so that he can see what Gunderson's sort of spring water situation is, and is the letter uses sort of vaguely threatening language to sort of urge him to open the lake's water supply up to Mr. Gunderson as well for his ranch.
That would explain why the carriage was here.
Mhm.
And now there is nothing else of any particular note that I can see, at least.
There is a pretty nice looking letter opener. That's about it.
I'll pocket that.
All right.
And just so I don't miss it, there's no like paintings on the walls or anything that's like obviously hiding a safe.
No, the whole room's pretty rustic. If there's not space to hide much of anything.
Obvious question. What quality paper is all the stationery here?
As rustic as the rest of the room.
Damn
Pretty heavily woven. Yeah. Returning to, let's take a peek at Monica and Teacup for a moment.
Yeah, that's it.
By this time, you've swept over two other sites, and I'll spare you all of the details, but you've noticed one similarity between all of the sites, and one thing that was different at one of the sites. At both of the sites, all three of the sites that you've investigated so far, rather, within the vicinity, Bluey flying overhead has been able to spot it. A similar campsite, pretty austere, died down campfire, and two spots where people have sat. And at one of the scenes, the casings that you find match the ones that you picked up from the first one. At the other scene, though, they are different. So that is a little bit more information for you.
Teacup, I'm confused as fuck.
So, are you saying the empty casings were different between sites or between camps within one site?
Between sites. At each of the sort of... There are spots on the roads where people have reported being robbed by Black Scabbard. At each of these sites, within the vicinity, you find a campsite where there have been two people, and some shell casings, sort of closer to the road where the actual robbery happened. At one of these sites, the shell casings were different than at the other two.
I see. What was different about
Wider but shorter. You've gathered that the longer, thinner casings are fired out of some sort of lever gun type situation, whereas these ones are from a pretty hefty revolver.
Just to be a nerd for a second here, is it possible this is like a Colt Action Army deal where it's a revolver that fires small rifle cartridges?
I mean, if we want to go even further into nerd territory, in the Old West sort of time period, there were cartridges that were like kind of sort of halfway between pistol and rifle. Like they were a little weak for a rifle, but they were really powerful for a pistol, and they were used in both pistols and lever guns.
I really
Interesting.
wanted to mention that because the Colt Action Army is one of my favorite revolvers because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Very.
Just- let's
Yeah.
take a let's take a revolver and chamber it in a rifle.
Yeah. People still do. But yeah. So those are all of the notes that you've managed to gather from your 3 robbery sites, and as you circle around for the rest of them, let us have Dan talk to Jonah. So you stride over to this cow pen. As the conversation between Jonah and whoever he was speaking to breaks off, you stride up to him.
Howdy there, Jonah. Is that you, Jonah?
Yeah, that's me.
I quickly flash in my badge and go, I'm here on the sheriff's behalf, and I just need to talk to you for a few moments.
Can I get a deception check? All right. Yeah.
Impersonating a deputy.
Yeah. You're here on the sheriff's behalf. He sort of hops off of the fence and dusts off his shirt. Yeah, what are you speaking to me about?
You see, I heard you had an encounter with the local legend, the Black Scabbard, the famous outlaw.
Oh. Sheriff Isaac said he was done with that whole investigation, but if you're willing to talk to me about it a bit more, yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, you see, I just had a change of heart, and I was able to convince him to look back into it. That's why I've been sent here to talk to you, Jonah.
I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, so Mr. Greener gave me the carriage. He wanted me to take some jugs of milk down to the saloon. So I did just that. I hopped in the stagecoach, and I started making my way down the road, and I could just see the lights of Devil's Pit on the horizon when a shot went wide over the carriage. I looked over. I saw a campfire, and I saw some rustling in the bushes. I hopped down out of the carriage with my hands up because I didn't have my gun on me, and I didn't want any trouble.
How long ago was this incident?
Maybe a week.
Did you see any defining features?
I didn't. That's the thing. This feller in a big heavy duster and a wide hat, and he had black paint on his face. And he steps out of the bushes towards me, and he's waving his gun, and he tells me to give him everything I have. I pull out my dime, my singular dime, and I hand it to him, and well, that pisses him off. He goes rooting around through the stagecoach, and all he finds back there is milk. That pisses him off even more. And so he shoves me back up into the driver's seat, fires another shot up into the air, and tells me to get into town. And so as I did, and I told the sheriff as soon as I got in here about the whole situation, and he said, well, if only 10 cents were actually stolen, that's not worth looking into. So yeah, that's how it went.
And you said this happened at the Devil's Pit.
On the road a bit outside of town, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shit, do I ask? Hmm. And there's nothing else about this incident that happened? No. He just sent you out on your way? Did he say anything to you?
You know, it all happened real fast, and I'm not sure I'm remembering it that well, but I swear that after he sent me off, he apologized for stopping me.
He apologized. That doesn't sound like an outlaw's typical outlaw.
That's what I said. But yeah, so that's how it went.
Curious.
Hmm. Did he ask about anything in particular? Did he ask if you just if you had like a specific object? If for nothing, you
No,
just yeah,
he
okay.
seemed like he was just looking for money.
Well, I thank you for your time, and I'll let you get back to your business.
All right. Thank you. And he hops over the fence and sort of herds the cows all over into one corner as somebody comes over to open the gate to get in. With this, time has ticked over once again. It is around about 8 p.m. The sun is starting to go down, and as the cloud cover builds overhead, a light drizzle begins to fall. Monica and Teacup.
That's us.
You have reached the most recent site, and it is rather recent, of the ones that the sheriff told you about. It's, you have in fact made a large circle through most of the sites by now, and you're kind of close to that water pump. You hold your hand over the fire pit, and it is a tiny bit warm, like the last of the embers had died out earlier that day. Not super recent, but within the last day or two, somebody was here. And again, through all of the sites that you've seen, the weapon has changed now 3 times. One of them being a revolver and 2 different kinds of rifles. But the campsite has still always had 2 seats at it.
Just kind of looks over the list of people that's been like. Does there seem to be some type of pattern between the people that have all been reporting these attacks?
They've all been stagecoach robberies, and everybody involved, except for one, has been relatively poor. Has not had much to give. A couple of ranch hands, a few physicians, just sort of traveling the land. The one rich person who reported a sighting was a fur trader. But other than that, it's all been poorer peoples.
Now that we're back at the water pump, like we just fully made it back and look, take up. Why does everything seem to lead back to this goddamn water pump?
I mean, that's a good question.
Wanna
And
go check it out?
yeah, almost immediately Teacup starts, taking out tools and affixing them to the little working arms on her robot, ready to just deconstruct the whole thing.
It's like a surgery. Like she's ready to go into surgery, and I'm just the nurse. Tell me what you need, doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Teacup, what can I do?
We're
So-
losing it. We're losing it. It's getting clogged.
You can stand there and be the moral support.
Give me a check with your whatever tools you have.
Tink is too.
All right.
Ho.
It's a pretty
Jesus
simple.
Christ.
It's a pretty simple device to take apart. You could do this in your sleep. Pipe wrench, loosen a couple of things. You take the lever arm off. Water starts coming out of the spout. It's a slow, very low pressure situation. You take the parts off, and soon you have a small, bubbling spout of water coming out of a small block of concrete. Doesn't seem to be anything special about this pipe.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Dan and Lucky, having finished up your whole situation, what would you two be doing?
Well, I assume we've been communicating the entire time.
Yes.
So it seems to me that if we want to continue with the robberies, our angle would probably be to be a stagecoach on the road near wherever is most likely to be hit next. Because at the moment, we have nothing to link green. We have at least the presence of outlaws who seem to be very bad at being outlaws.
Maybe we could ask Mr. Greener to borrow like some supplies to make it look like that we're like a legitimate stagecoach.
I mean, we already have a coach, don't we?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, but like stuff to put like supplies to load in it, so it looks like now that we're transporting goods.
Yes, but they robbed a milk coach before. They obviously don't really care.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So you two are on the road.
Although, that said, anything, because we only have one day for this. Any other leads we want to follow up on?
You have until 6 p.m. tomorrow, so you can always sleep in town and then ask around a bit more.
Anybody?
Is it getting close to dark already?
It's about 8:30 p.m. The sun is behind cloud cover, so it is practically nighttime.
Yeah.
If we want to look for this outlaw, we should probably do it now.
Yeah, let's meet up with the group. Let's meet up with Teacup and Monica and get in a stagecoach and pretend to be transporting shit.
Now, fellows, I suggest we do the usual maneuver of everyone act very scared and vulnerable, and then I do my car's trick, and we all shoot at him at once and or incapacitate him. Sound right?
Could we not do violence, please? Violence scary.
Yes, but okay, Teacup, we've talked about this. They're highwaymen. They use
I
violence.
know.
Okay to kill them. They're not really
But-
people.
I mean, it's. I wouldn't go that far, Lucky, but we could at least take him into custody and hand him over to the sheriff.
They can tase
Maybe there's a
them.
bounty on him.
Teacup can tase people.
Before we let that just go,
Yeah.
can lightning damage be non-lethal?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay,
Basic principle of a taser is non-lethal lightning damage.
got it.
Yeah, so the four of you pile into the stagecoach, Jack still driving. He seems nervous about the plan to be purposefully hijacked.
Or it, Jack. Oh wait,
No.
we have plans for this. We have done this before, and I have only ever been shot once.
Don't worry, Jack. Oh, sorry.
I'm just, if you have a way of trying to convince me, then by all means do it. But I'm just, I ain't never been shot at before, and I don't know how to. I've got a gun. I've used it, but I don't want to shoot at a person. And I'm not sure that this is a good idea.
Just Lucky just puts a hand on his shoulder and like in like the deepest, most fatherly voice you've ever heard. Just trust me, son.
He sort of straightens up his posture and nods. Yeah, all right. Fair enough. And so you travel back down, sort of in the quote-unquote roads that sort of surround the main area of Devil's Pit. Once again, sort of near this water pump. And sure enough, there is a bang from a nearby bush, a flash of light, and a shot whizzes over the carriage.
Now, real quick, people remember, just tell people my whole shtick is that Lucky fights with psychic playing cards that he doesn't need to draw, meaning that he can have his hands free and up in 1 second and immediately throw one in the next.
Yep.
Oh, what? I had an hour pass since has it been long enough for a short
You were
rest?
long.
It has not.
Damn. Well, I cast invisibility on myself anyway. Why
Okay.
just saying.
Just bang, vanish.
All right.
He
Deleted.
shot him so hard he stopped existing.
So Jack woes the horses, pulls the reins, holds his hands up, and pulls his hat down, sort of turns away from the whole situation as a figure steps out of the bush. Tall and in a black duster with a wide-brimmed black hat and streaks of black paint masking some of the finer details of their face, matching to this point the description that you had been given by Jonah. A large two-handed sword in a black leather scabbard on their back and a lever-action rifle in their hands as they step towards the carriage. And in a magically modulated voice, they bark, "Now you all step out of there!"
As soon I follow everybody else out, and as soon as I exit the stagecoach, I try to circle around him to try and get behind him.
All right.
I'm just staring at this person, and I'm just trying to hold in laughing. But
I am going to be.
all right, don't shoot us.
Teacup.
I am going to be clutching Monica's leg
Mhm.
very tightly.
I just pick her up and hold her in my arms.
Keep it slow there. Keep it slow.
I don't want to shoot nobody neither. But I do
What
need
does
money.
this person look like?
Give me a perception check.
Ah, shit.
Can I do that too?
You certainly
Yeah,
can.
can I walk right
I
in front of him
literally-
and
I've-
walk right in front? Oh, sorry.
I have
Hmm?
Teacup in front of my face as I'm holding her.
Yeah.
How does 23?
With the 23, I will say,
Can I have advantage because I'm right in front of him, just looking at him?
You can't call that after.
they had, he asked before, and I didn't answer because it was sort of being covered up. I would say that since you're invisible and can get right up in their face, yes. One of the first things that Lucky and Dan, you notice, having firsthand heard the description, this isn't a man. This appears to be a woman.
Oh.
Gang.
Oh
No.
my
Continue.
god, is I
Like-
right?
Zoinks!
I don't want to shoot nobody. I just want your money. And then you're all on your way.
I don't see the dramatic turn of what's going on.
Hmm?
Go, oh no! How could this have happened? And I snap my finger, and if this doesn't work, I'm gonna cry. I cast infestation on them.
Alright, let's do this one again. Constitution saving throw.
Gonna cry.
A living flea is a material
Mhm.
component for this.
She does not pass.
All right,
Um,
so that's 5 poison damage, and then I think I roll a d4, and she just has to like just yeet that way.
Yeah.
3. She has to run 5 feet east.
All right. Yeah. So she lowers her gun and begins scratching at her neck and her face. She knocks her hat off in the process, and sort of auburn red hair sort of rolls out and down the back of the coat. And in all of this commotion, as she dives to the ground, scratching at these real bugs that are on her, you all notice now, this face is familiar. This is Nancy, the barkeep.
What?
Yeah.
Nancy? Out loud.
Yeah, and you hear from some intelligible place, Nancy.
Like, Lucky literally had, like, there is, like, if anyone's seen the X-Men animated series, there's, like, one of Gambit's glowing playing cards in his hand, and he's about to throw it, and he just pauses. What? What?
Jack takes his hat off and steps off of the carriage.
You son of a bitch.
Now, just wait, right? Not okay. One moment. Can you unbug cover my sister, please, real quick?
There is now a razor sharp playing card up against his Adam's apple.
Yeah, I just turn. I'm just looking back and forth and back and forth. Really? You can really play us? That's fucked up.
I didn't play anything. Now, Nancy
I thought
there.
we had something. I thought we had a friendship forming.
Maybe we did. I would not blame you if this sort of ruined that whole situation. But if you would allow me 5 minutes, less than probably, to explain what is currently happening.
I just grumble and I just go, fine, but I'm tying up Miss Loose Fingers over here. And I like pull out some rope and just look at her and like, I can bring them back or you can let me tie you up.
Don't bring the bugs back, please. Do not do that.
Okay, I tie her up real well.
All right.
And I just look at Teacup. See, no violence. Just
Yay!
Now,
Bugs are tasty.
sure. If I may speak on behalf of my sister while she mentally recovers, so, Black Scabbard ain't real. But Nancy has, in the past couple of months, struggled to keep the doors open on that there saloon of hers. And, so she asked me, well, she didn't open up to me about it, that quickly. She asked me, hey, we've been having some bar fights at the saloon. Is there a sort of spare shitty gun that Mr. Gunderson won't miss that you could give me? And I said, sure. And I took that and I gave it to her. And then after a while, she opened up to me about it. She said, I've been robbing folks to get money to keep the graveyard open. And I said, hey, that sucks. And then she asked me if I could help her. And I imagined somebody pulling a gun on my sister, and that sort of overrode my sense of good judgment. I'm sure you can understand that. And so, yeah, I tagged along. One time I was the one who shot the gun and stepped out of the bush. But
Well, we've been on a we've been on a losing streak recently, and we were about to give it up. I told when I got involved in all of this with all of you, I told Nancy I wouldn't be able to help her out tonight. She said she wouldn't do anything. So, you know, you can imagine my surprise, and you can imagine my hesitance when you all said you was gonna go after Black Scabbard and take him into the sheriff and all of that. Anyway, yeah, there's that in the air.
Well, there is our last lead gone.
So
Yeah.
you didn't rob your boss. And I look at Nancy. You didn't rob his boss?
We were not involved.
Ah! Fuck!
Fuck!
Ah! I'm just like, there's nothing to throw, so I'm just kicking dirt. Like, nothing to throw. I'm just like, ah! God, fuck!
Imagining that scene from Lord of the Rings where Aragorn just like kicks a random like orc helmet or rock or something, then just immediately regrets it as he breaks his foot.
Yep, Viggo Mortensen actually broke his foot doing that.
Yep.
So fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so no luck there on finding the guy, but
Suppose you saw anything
saw
out and about here, suspiciously, waiting for people.
Like anybody like futzing around with that water pipe over yonder?
huh. There was there was a guy. I think it was that that big feller who works with the dentist. What's his name? Boris? Boris. Yeah, he came out to draw some water for Mr. Heinrich, and I don't know, he took a while. It was in the distance. I couldn't see him too well. There was haze, but it looked like he wound up taking something with him.
Monica is twitching.
It was the
Swear to-
German all along.
I swear
Hey,
to
this
fuck.
wasn't a waste of time.
So a dentist, a goddamn dentist assistant
So
did
just
this.
in the graveliest, like threatening goblin voice. You live to see another day.
Well, hold on. Let's not be too hasty, Lucky.
No, and that was
Look.
that you live to see another day.
I know what you said.
Now I find myself agreeing with the Birdman. I think I should live to see another day.
Oh, you will. It's just that if you want the word about who is Black Scabbard to say quiet, we get a chip of whatever you make. Bar,
God.
stealing, and all.
I don't care. Just give us free drinks every time we come to town. We need to go find this goddamn dentist boy.
Free drinks works.
I'll
Yeah,
Well-
just give us free drinks and nachos.
Well, is there a bounty on Black Scabbard?
I feel like he's a myth, so I'd assume not.
most people don't even think he exists, and they're right. So no bounty about that. Hey Nancy, can you give these folks free drinks and maybe some money when we get back into town so I don't get my
Nachos.
throat cut? Nachos as well.
Nachos.
Yeah, some Tex-Mex nachos.
I look back at Teacup. Teacup, did you want anything from the bar?
Blackmail
Uh,
nachos.
Lemonade.
What she said.
All right.
I just chuck Nancy into the wagon. I say, to the dentist. Let's go.
All right. And you all ride valiantly.
Nancy.
I've
She's on the-
actually been in a dentist's office, you know. On account of me not having teeth.
Makes sense.
I like the idea of Nancy just thrown at the where the feet area of the cart is. We're just all using her as an extra footstool.
Oh yeah, we're just all we never bought Twin Tire.
So you ride valiantly into town, your next target close at hand.
and the
man.
dentist is closed.
Ha-
I
has it
don't think
been-
that matters.
I
Has
can
it been
open
an hour to town?
doors.
Has it been an hour
Last
ride
time-
to get into town.
Last time it
Yeah.
took an hour to get there and back.
Yep.
So would you say this was a a short rest?
Sure.
I'm gonna
give it to
also
him.
pull that shit too, so
Yeah.
I can get one spell slot back.
Yeah, you can have a long rest. Or a short rest. That's fine.
Um,
and
I'm just gonna like, is it like a 2-story thing? Because I know some places had it where like, the people live right on top of their business.
That is the sort of build of the place. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna literally just start knocking on the door, going, huh? Open up, Jesus Christ! I want to go to bed.
Monica, you never change.
From around the back of the building, a massive frame looms. Big, buff, bearded. He's carrying big crates of something under each arm.
Hey,
Oh.
Nancy, is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
I'll approach friendly with my hands up and go, tip my hand and go, howdy, I'm sorry, we're sorry to disturb you at such late hours, but I'll flash my badge really quick. We're from the sheriff's office and we just need to talk to you real quick.
Boris not like talking to people.
Well, Boris is going to have to talk to people.
Boris not like talking to people. And he walks, tries to walk across the street.
I put my hand on his shoulders. Now, I think you can make an exception with us. And I look at him a certain way and cast Charm Person.
Alright. Wisdom saving throw.
Be our friend.
Yeah, 14 is a DC.
It slides right off of this guy.
So it doesn't work?
He's not charmed, but he does stop.
Does. A sudden panic goes across Jane's face. And he goes in the pocket and he puts some powder on his cheeks and casts Friends, which doesn't have a save, but I get a minute of advantage on charisma checks.
Alright.
Now, Boris, I know you don't like talking to people, but this is real important, as you can see as you can see from our night visit, and our loud raucous our friend made. So we really could use this word.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage. Alright. Okay. What is talking about?
Well, you see, there's a certain bill that's gone missing, and a certain water pipe that the bill might have been in. Do you know anything about that?
Water pipe and little piece of paper. Yes, Boris saw this.
And can Boris tell us what happened to the paper?
Boris was paid not to talk about it.
But we're friends, Boris. You can tell me. Come on, Boris. Boris. Boris, there's 4 of us. It'd be best to tell us.
Is
Plus,
that
you're already kind of talking about it.
Now, Boris.
Boris goes to water pipe. Draw water. Dr. Heinrich needed water for something. I draw water. A little piece of paper falls out into bucket. I pick it up. I skim it over. I can't read it.
Boris cannot read.
So I leave in bucket. I begin walking back to town. And I get stopped. Lady stands there, asks about paper in bucket. I say that I found it, so I'm going to keep it. And then, well, she reaches into bucket and takes it from me. Hand is already holding bucket. I cannot stop her.
You could have dropped the bucket.
But Mr. Heinrich need water. Anyway, so she takes the paper and I ask her what is on the paper. She says it's very important information about some cows. And then she gives me bag of gold, tells me not to talk about it. But I have talked about it. Already spent gold though, so Boris comes out of
Joke's
this
on her.
winner.
Now, did I describe Mrs. Kilpatrick? Did this woman look anything like that?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh my god, it was the X.
Hey,
I'll pat him on the cheek and go, "Thank you, Boris." Now, as you were, and I go arrest and go, "We gotta go. We got less than a minute. We gotta go."
We
I
gotta get
assume
the
we've
fuck
seen him
out of
do this
here.
before, so Lucky follows his lead.
All right. So you all make away. Nancy offers you free rooms at the saloon if you want to sleep until morning.
Oh yeah, and I'll ask Nancy if she's seen anybody who's like Miss Kilpatrick come through the bar, or the saloon.
Well, plenty of people come through. I mean, not anywhere near as many as they used to, but
Not bitter about that or anything.
not at all. No, it didn't make me turn to stagecoach robbery to try and make a little bit of extra cash or anything. But it's hard to say. I see so many people every day. It's. I think so. Maybe. Couldn't tell you. Well, no, hold on. No. She was with a group of men who I have seen in town before. Yeah, minors, I think.
well, then they owe us a favor after we got their goddamn money back.
They do.
Maybe.
You know where the miners stay in town?
Honestly, I've never thought about it. Maybe
Like, I mean, do they have them? Like, where's the mines? They gotta mine something.
the mines. Well, they don't gotta mine anything anymore. The mines ran dry a while ago, but they're to the northwest of here. In that the entrance to the mines is in that big mesa over there. They've been abandoned for a while. The miners in question might have a house in town, but I reckon you come ringing them up at what is it, 10, 11 p.m. They're gonna be pretty cross about that.
Well, I turn to everyone. I don't need to sleep long. I can just go look at that, come back, tell you if I saw anyone in the mines.
Sure, I could use a nap.
I mean, yeah, but like the canary down the mine.
Yeah, me, I just whistle.
Racist.
My half dead bird just like lands on my shoulder. You just see like an eyeball just like kind of dripping out.
Mm.
Oh, what a pretty bird. All right, we're gonna go head out, go see what we can see, and then skedaddle back.
Skedaddle skedoodle.
Y'all start sleeping. I'll come back in a few hours.
Okay. So, everyone other than Monica, you get the benefits of a long rest. Monica, you head out to the big mesa that she pointed out, which, for reference, is this one right here. There's a small entrance, sort of around there. Braced up with wooden supports, a rickety-looking set of minecart tracks leading out to a long collapsed coal shed. And
Oh, sorry.
uh, for a mine that has supposedly been abandoned for a long time, there sure is a lot of dust kicked up in this area, and a faint glow from within.
That's all we really need to just run in at this point.
Um, I I'm like, this looks suspicious. And oh my golly, I'm going to how long did it take me to get there?
Map not being to scale, it's about a 25-30 minute walk from town.
Oh, okay. So, I'm gonna send my birdie off to go further in and look.
All right. Can your bird roll me a stealth check?
Yeah, I'm gonna look like what the base stats, like what would be the closest to this thing. Yeah, you can choose a bat, cat, hawk, lizard, owls. Uh, I don't know what like raven, would that be the closest
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, I'd say Raven is the closest.
All right, let me quickly just see. And what did you want me to roll? Stealth?
Yes.
So that's Dex, correct?
Yes.
So this is a +2, so 15.
All right. So your bird flutters into the mine entrance, and I get to change the map.
Ooh.
We see
Remember, you can still talk to us. I'm gonna spend another psychic point for that.
you're all asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn it. Actually, it doesn't say it's concentration. You can talk to me in my sleep.
How much of that
Wake
information will
up.
be relayed, but yeah. So
I had this weird dream.
as your bird flutters in, we ignore the fact that I forgot to put flame effects on these two torches here. Your bird flutters into the mine, and sure enough, there are lit torches and voices, and sort of a general bustle. There are a few people playing cards at a nearby table, but most of them have already laid down for the night in these bunk beds. It appears the remnants of a meal are at these tables here. Some sort of stew of a lizard of some kind. And sitting in this chair, on top of this sort of raised platform, sort of a small step up onto this wooden platform, is a woman matching the description of Tara Kilpatrick. Sort of red hair, finely dressed, short, elven woman. And she seems to be playing solitaire.
I look at this and I go, oh. And I'm gonna just psychically yell the shit at Lucky. Found her! She's at the mines!
Like Lucky makes like an alarm klaxon sound as he wakes up.
Wonderful. Yeah, so you are all given this information. You can continue to sleep, or you can do other things.
I'm going to roll people out of bed if they don't get up.
All right.
There is a paycheck to be collected here, boys.
Anti-cup.
No, it was BOI. It's gender neutral boys.
Gender neutral boys. Okay, so scratch the benefits of that long rest. Never fucking mind. You don't get it.
No, my singular spell slot.
Send the soldiers full of the devil.
While I wait for them to make it here, I will have my birdie just see if there's like the coveted scroll somewhere, like the bill. Like I don't know if they're dumb and she's just sitting there with it in her pocket.
It's like in Skyrim where it's like pinned to the table with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of
You send the bird a flutter around, and if there's one, it's not in easy view.
Okay, could I guess, because I can kind of see through their eyes, and when they come back to talk to me, how many people are in here?
It looks like there are 8 of them and Terra. So 9 in total.
Cool. And just before our last, long rest into town, I did recast my, mage armor.
Okay.
So I, wait for the rest of the crew to show up, and when they do, I just kind of explain what, Bluey saw.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 8 of them, and, ex-girlfriends in there too. How do we want to approach this? Because, you just see kind of fire in my hands. I have fireball.
Oh.
Paper.
Well, yeah, well, I have an
Important
idea.
paper.
How about I just walk in invisible and take her hostage?
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
You know,
Or we could just steal it from them.
Oh yeah, because I do have the manacles back. I can just walk up to her invisible and manacle her.
Or just to throw this out there, how many of them are asleep?
By your estimation, let's see. 4 of them in bed, 4 of them at this table playing blackjack.
What do you guys think?
first thing
Would-
comes
would-
first,
would-
I'll
would it
just
be
shatter the mind.
would it be possible to like tie all the sleeping people to their bed so
You
that
could also just cut their throats while they're sleeping.
Fireball, fireball.
I feel I mean they're outlaws and everything, but I don't really feel good about killing them in their sleep.
Would it be possible to tie all of them into their beds? Theoretically. Would it be possible to do that stealthily? Different question.
Here, you know what? Why don't we just why don't Dan, you go invisible, and we create a distraction of coming in and saying we want to go work with her. We want to change sides.
That never works.
It does.
How about instead of
Uh.
the phrase change side, it's hey, fuck the government. We want to join your bandit group.
No, we say, hey, he's paying us shit. Why can we work for you instead?
Okay, here's the thing though, why do we bother doing it? We have the drop on them. Let's kill them.
No.
No, that no.
What?
And I look at him and I look at Teacup. You know she doesn't like blood. That's why I said fireball. It
I
smells
have a
good.
taser.
I just look, Dan, just go do your invisible thing. We'll go make a distraction for you.
You got it.
You hear a voice from behind you. The voice of Jack Packard on your stagecoach. Hey, folks, here's an idea. And now don't go don't go telling everybody about this. I think it's a pretty cutting edge strategy, but you could talk to her and ask her, sort of about the whole situation and see if you could get that there thing back without having to do any lying or murdering or anything like that.
You
I mean,
do
if-
realize the irony of you saying that, right?
I ain't never killed nor wounded nobody. All right.
You brought
mean,
them that left them
you-
to starve.
False.
I mean, to be
No,
honest,
I support this idea. Some of us going to talk to her, and while she's distracted, if she gets uppity, then we kill her.
what the bird said.
Well,
How
hold
about-
hold on. How about we do go in and talk because talking is better, and Dan and or Lucky, I don't know, you pick, can go in invisibly, and then you can get ready to like, I don't know, handcuff her if she gets rowdy.
It works.
looked
I
in-
am better with my hands. I volunteer to be invisible.
All right.
Actually, can we be invisible? Does Dan still have a spell slot?
You did get a short
yeah.
rest on the way back to
Yeah.
town.
I
So.
can cast
Yeah, so
that.
I got my 2 warlock spell slots back. So yeah, I can make you invisible.
Actually,
Lucky.
let me do that because I have more slots.
Okay.
Okay. How do you?
Oh, maybe
Oh.
me
Technically
and Lucky should
speaking.
be
Oh yeah,
invisible.
yeah. I have to flavor it. I'm riding in my little mech. And the rear body section, is that the abdomen or the thorax?
I don't know what spider parts
I'm gonna
is.
call it the abdomen. It's a storage compartment, so it kind of splits open. And there's some shelves that pop out. The little robo arms pick up one little like can type deal, and they just kind of bring it up right next to you and spray you all over with this liquid, and you just kind of slowly turn invisible.
Is this gonna stain?
Yes.
Oh,
All right. Wonderful.
And it looks
I'm
really
a-
gross when it dries,
Ew.
but it's okay.
I pick up Teacup as our 2 friends disappear. I say, "You read Teacup?"
Yeah.
I thought Dan was
Uh,
remaining visible.
I mean,
Oh,
I
it's up-
could go invisible too with Lucky.
Oh, it's up to you. What are you feeling, Tom?
I mean, if we're gonna go the talking route, I should probably be visible.
Okay, JK, Lucky goes invisible. And I grab Dan's hand and we walk in like the most fucked up couple ever. Teacup. Just like
In the little
walk in.
baby Bjorn.
Teacup's a little pet.
Eat.
Or adopted dog.
She's
I
our
have just
adopted daughter.
realized if I'm gonna be in my spider mech, is that gonna work with the pouch?
It would be very heavy. I'm going to rule you cannot be Baby Bjorn and Spider Mech at the same time.
All right.
I realize it's too heavy and I put her down, but I try to act like it wasn't too heavy. I'm like, you know what?
It
You know,
sells
I am-
better.
When we're in town and not doing anything dangerous like this, you can carry me all you want.
All right.
Yeah. I'm like slightly hurt.
All right. So you all walk into this mine. Do you make your presence known?
Hello, ex-girlfriend.
Hello.
As you shout this, you are coming down this pathway. I'll drop you all into the scene here. Or you could drop yourselves, I suppose. Put Teacup and Monica in. Your token didn't token, so you just
Oh, no.
you're both squashed.
Wow,
I'm the only one with the token.
All right.
Did I not update?
Y'all are a bunch of
No.
squares.
God damn it.
I made a token and everything.
Yeah, you made a token, but you didn't put it on your thing.
Dang
Whoopsie.
it.
I didn't
Anyhow.
make a token. I just used my icon.
Yeah, I noticed. You are here and PNG'd. So as you all are coming down this pathway, 2 fellas pop around the corner holding revolvers, pointing them at you all.
I instantly raise my hand, like hold my hands up. Now, don't need to be rough. We're here on peaceful terms. We're friends.
You'll pardon us if we don't find that likely.
I look, do I see the ones who I helped get their money back?
No. There are a few that you can't currently see from your position, but of the 6 that you currently have eyes on, no.
Said, chill. If I want to do anything, I would have blown you all up. I didn't. We're here to talk. God. Y'all need to chill.
The two of them look back at Tara, who has stood up from her table and is sort of leant over and looking at all of you.
I wave.
All right. I'm due a bit of intrigue today. Yeah. Let him in. Come, you three, up here.
Hobble, 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 hobble.
The three of you hobble. Lucky you can do whatever you'd like.
Alright, one.
But yeah, these two sort of file in behind you. These fellas have stepped away from their card game and are idly watching from the sidelines, and the folks who were in their beds are stirring a little bit, but they haven't fully woken up yet. Now, so, you've all found the incredibly dangerous and deadly Miss Red, and you've waltzed directly into her little bandit cove. If I could trouble you all to ask, why?
You see, we were hired by your ex-boyfriend because you stole his bill of all his goddamn cows. And I've walked like 6 miles today and I'm fucking tired. Can we please just... Can we figure this out?
I was gonna ask which ex-boyfriend. I regret to inform you, as much as the juicy gossip might be the first thing on your minds, me and Mr. Gunderson were never romantically involved. I would never. The man's a pig. So, I presume you are getting good money out of that man's grubby little hands, to come here and relieve me of my hard-fought winnings. That is right, yeah? Did he hire you all directly, or contracted, or what?
We were
You'll-
contracted out of character.
We were contracted.
You'll pardon me for prying so much. I just want to get a scope of this sort of picture here. She sits back down in her chair and sort of leans back, reclines. Oh, there. And she moves a couple of cards around, progressing in her game of solitaire.
I'm the queen.
So, yes. Would you like to hear a story?
I love stories.
So, you've probably heard a lot of things about Mr. Gunderson. Some of them may be a bit flattering, other ones less so. The man ruined my life. He put me in jail.
Relationships do that.
I will have all of my men shoot you. I'm not going to entertain that. You will be shot. So stop that. Anyway.
Real quick, how many of them have
Monica.
the guns out right now?
This one here, and these two in this bunk appear to be armed with guns. The rest of them don't have any.
Right, and which of them have them out?
The two who are awake.
So could you mark one of those guns again? Is there one that's asleep that has a gun?
I'll put a little status effect thing on the ones who have guns. Goodness.
Oh, can I mind whisper to Lucky? That might be a good idea to pickpocket all their bullets.
That's what I'm planning on. Now, with invisibility, can I pickpockets and still be invisible?
No, when you do actions.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's when you attack or cast a spell.
But
Let me.
Oh.
I've got a thing. One moment.
but if the guns are already loaded, it's not gonna
Yeah,
matter.
I
if
am
you take
good.
their
I am
spare
not
ammo.
steal the bullets out of your gun. Good.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking for the guy who didn't have his gun drawn yet.
Yeah, these two who are in their bunks and in the process of waking up have not like readied their weapons.
Monica's
Then,
like,
as this conversation is happening, I'm going to creep over and just very quietly just try to slip those guns out of pockets.
Right? Give me 2 sleight of hand rolls. Advantage from your invisibility. All right.
22 and 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say you manage pretty readily to get the guns far enough away that they're not going to be able to like jump up and get them.
I can't pocket them though.
I mean, like, yeah, you can pocket their guns.
Excellent.
They become invisible as you take them. So,
I can put them in the bag actually.
yeah,
boink, boink.
plenty of space in the many-handed pouch. Right. So, yes. Joking about me and Mr. Henderson's relationship aside, the man did ruin my life, and I almost starved to death. So I hold a bit of a grudge. I'm sure you could pardon me. Where to start? So me and him used to be business partners. I assumed he was born rich or something with all this land he had. And so, I go and I work with him for a little while. I handle more of the sort of economic decisions and the actual running of the ranch while he goes and makes deals with other landowners and such. And then one day I'm going through his papers. I'm looking for a deed to a specific property because we're looking to sell. And I find a letter. Blackmail. For somebody up north whose land he intended to steal out from under them and sell to the government. He threatened to burn down their home with his wife and child inside. Man is nasty.
Do we believe her?
Give me an insight check.
Dan is fucking like trying to like holding back tears.
Oh.
Monica is just shaking. She's like trying not to make any more quips about this, but she's like, "You're gonna get shot if you say something." Oh, but I want to say something.
So, yeah, so I bring this up with him. It seems awfully out of character. He was such a nice man to me. And well, he turns around and he blackmails me. Yeah? I say I'm not going to stand for that. So he throws me out on my ass. And then the next day, Sheriff Isaac and his deputy boy roll up to my house, and they say that I'm under arrest because apparently I went behind Gunderson's back and sold a whole flock of sheep and ran away with the money. I was still in town. I obviously hadn't run away anywhere. This man's got everybody who matters in his pocket. And so I get thrown in the jail for a couple of days. I managed to make my break when a bar fight breaks out and the boys had to leave the station. And then I almost starved in the desert. Yeah. Woo, fun times. Anyway, I fell in with these folks, because they were squabbling, needed a change in leadership, right? Yeah? And everybody sort of nods, because 2 of them were, like, even at each other's throats while she was saying that.
Well, a plan is beginning to form.
So yeah, I hopped in and took over this whole place, and then that was that, and then it was now, and I paid Mr. Crawford, poor old Mr. Crawford, I heard he wound up in jail today, how unfortunate, to sneak into Gunderson's place and get me the bill. I was lucky it was that oaf Boris who found it, otherwise, the whole situation would have gone up in smoke, but now I've got it. So, alright. you've heard my story. You can believe it. You can choose not to. Up to you.
Oh, fuck, are you done talking? Ugh.
I will
God.
deliver unto you my final ultimatum, and then, yes, I will be done talking. You can walk up here. You can walk up to this table, and you can take the bill out of my hands, and I won't move to stop you. But as you exit this place, my men will move to stop you. And they will do so with lethal force. And if you win, then yeah, sure, you can go back to that horrible, greedy piece of shit, and you can hand him just a pile of money, and he can give you a couple pennies off of the top, and then you can all go about your day. Or you can just leave. Say the bill's already gone out of town. There's a train track not that far from here. Could have walked it down to the nearest station, right? And then it's too far away. Who knows who has it now? So
You
You know.
know, how about this?
Ignore that.
Telepathically, I'm going to say I might be able to get them to fight each other if you ask for a cut.
Hold on. Listen. Why? Look, if he really is this piece of shit, and I'm assuming Lucky and Dan told us like what the other farmer had said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm starting to gather that he is a piece of shit. How do you want to go about this? Because like, look, money's great. And I really don't care about anyone but Teacup. I mean, my friends. Uh, but what he's doing is pretty scummy. You know, he might come after my farm one day, and that doesn't
Yeah.
sit well with me. So, what do you say if we team up,
He's a real
expose
dick.
all his crimes?
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, it
on
sounds
your
like you got a.
side.
It sounds like
I
you
would
got a
like to
bunch of
point out
crowd.
that we do work for an organization that may very well break our kneecaps if we go back on a contract.
Well,
I'll
we
have
never
to
signed
register.
anything, did we?
Nope.
You're signed with the
Okay.
Taurus and Henders company. They sent you to go and help Mr. Gunderson.
Now, that's an
Um,
assumption on my part. Are Taurus and Henders the break your kneecap sort?
Do they care if we bring
Mm,
money back? Like, would they care about what happens if we bring money?
Bringing money would be a good way to stop them from breaking your kneecaps, is how I will put it.
Got it. So
Yeah, just-
integrity of the contract isn't so much an issue. It's bring money, no questions asked.
Yeah, some questions asked, but the money is the important part.
Look, we just need to bring some money to break our contract. But other than that, we can help you take him down. I just ask one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You help the people of this town. Look at these. You're living in a goddamn mine. The town is half broke. We have people robbing each other for scraps. If I help you take him down, if we help you take him down, one, you help us break our contract by just giving us proper pay. Two, you use this money from that asshole to actually build this town up and help the people that live here.
It could also be possible that you can just give the bill to Mr. Greener. He seems like a stand-up fellow.
Now, I'm liking the general shape of these ideas that you three are putting out.
You
Weren't
know.
there 4 of you earlier? Like,
No.
around
No.
town? Okay,
No,
alright.
don't worry about that.
Oh, right, you had Gideon. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm liking the general shape that you three are putting forward. There are a couple hitches with it. I want to work with you on this. I really do. I like this, and I don't want it to go to shit. I like this. So, the hitches. A, Mr. Gunderson sells the land that he steals from people to the government. So the government is not on our side. B, the whole way that he got me out of town was by bribing the sheriff. So the sheriff's not on our side. The only thing that we do have on our side is literally all of the people in the town who hate this motherfucker just as much as I do.
I have an idea.
That's what I'm saying. We
Well-
arrest him. We read out his crimes to the public. Sheriff can't do shit if the whole town's there, and that's what I said. Support the
That's crazy.
town. They'll have your
Well,
back.
And well, there is a local legend we can take advantage of.
Yeah.
What if a whole bunch of black scabbards all suddenly stormed the Gunderson ranch and added all his dirty secrets, and then vanished into the night, vanished into the horizon.
A plan is starting to form here. And it's a very good plan. Okay. Okay, here's the shape of things. You all, and maybe some of my men, do the whole local legend thing. Sweep in there, get paper evidence. And then, you all go in. The three of you. And you say, well, we found the guy, right? We know who took your bill. He's in the sheriff's office right now. We'll take you to come and see him so that you know we're not bullshitting you. You drag him out there. You get him in the town square. Meanwhile, I go around, round up the people. You slap the cuffs on him. We show off the paper evidence. And cross our fingers. Right? That sound about
Make
good?
sure we get a cut.
Yeah, no, we said that in the deal that like our contract has to be paid off, whatever that would have been.
Yeah. I
One
mean,
thing
we
I
ain't working for free.
The one thing that I do mention in our heads, Lucky, you can literally just repeat all the shit that people have said about Gunderson in their voices as proof.
I can do that. Oh,
You
sorry, you talking
literally
to me
can-
out loud or psychically? Because
Psychically.
okay, making sure.
I'm gonna say because you
Does that
literally
count as
heard
proof?
the sheriff say he's a piece of shit. You
Uh,
heard every person that said he's a piece of shit. You heard it, and you could just parrot it back in their voice. Everyone knows Kanku can do that, so they know you're not faking it.
We can do that.
Is that common knowledge that people know?
I mean, they
You know,
apparently
if we
do, like,
weren't all dishonest thieves, we probably would have an excellent job in law enforcement.
yeah. I mean, everyone knows about me apparently. Like,
Yeah.
as a drow.
I'd say
Oh yeah, good point.
knowledge of Kenku is pretty decently spread. I will point out, a bunch of people saying that he's a piece of shit might not necessarily work as proof. I mean, a bunch of people said that I stole a bunch of sheep from him. That's not true.
Yeah, it still got you arrested.
Still got me
Exactly.
arrested. You make a good point. All right. So, we're coming up on 2 hours 30, which is about as long as our sessions normally run. So, I'll sort of fast forward through a lot of this.
Well, real quick, I just want this one scene because after it's clear we have a deal, Lucky will just appear out of nowhere and hand the guys back their guns.
Sorry.
In a sack full of their bullets.
Smart. Also, I knew there were 4 of you. Goddamn. All right. I never count on invisibility. I can give a man a portable hole, so I know that magic is good for crimes. But I never count on invisibility. Okay.
Very good for crimes.
Oh, and instead of fast forwarding through this, we could always just do a third session and wrap it up.
Yeah.
We could do a third
Nice.
session. Do y'all want to do a third session of this?
Third
Yeah,
session,
I'm all
third
for
session.
Third session.
Alrighty.
What? Yay!
Wrap
The
this
thumb
up
shot.
properly.
Yeah.
Try shot. A trilogy.
Yeah.
The Taurus and Henderson
A
trilogy.
3-act play.
Yeah. So, I suppose I'll do all of my normal end of stream stuff now then.
Ooh.
This has been a stream, and I have been a streamer. these have been my wonderful friends who I play D&D with every week.
Hey.
Oh,
They're very
Oh.
cool, and I care for them a lot.
we care for you.
Aw.
Yeah. So if you're watching this live on Twitch, there's a little follow button underneath this, and if you like the sort of stuff that you're seeing, we're probably going to do more D&D streams in the future, even after Taurus and Henders is done. So you can follow for that. You can also follow for my Dead by Daylight and occasionally other video games. If you're watching this as a VOD on Twitch, the follow button is in the same place. If you're watching this as a VOD on YouTube, my Twitch is linked in the description. This one will be going up on YouTube. The previous one didn't because of that audio bug, and I'm not going to complain about it anymore.
But you could.
But I could.
What if we just all got together one day and just did a shitty dub of it?
Or we could abridge series our own vlog.
What else? Word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. If you know of anybody who might enjoy the sort of stuff that I do here, go ahead and send them my way. You know, it's always nice when you hear somebody say, "Hey, I saw this thing. It made me think of you." So if this makes you think of anybody, maybe let them know. And I said this at the end of the previous stream, but I'll say it again. Probably gonna work on edited, like, clips type videos, like highlights and other such things. Those will be going up on a separate YouTube channel from the VODs, just so that I don't have to worry about copyright stuff as much. Because the VODs sometimes have copyrighted music in them, but these videos won't. I want them to be on two separate channels so that there's less danger of the entire catalog of my work being removed from the internet. Second YouTube channel eventually. So if that interests you at all, keep an eye out for that. I will be mentioning in a stream whenever I get that. Anything that any of y'all want to say?
No.
Thanks for running, Gwen.
Thank
This
you.
stream, this stream was brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh God.
I've barely
Don't get laid, get raid.
I have barely restrained myself from doing a stream where the entire joke is that it's sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends and like reading off of the script that everybody gets and whatnot. But I think until I actually have followers, people will think that I'm actually doing a Raid Shadow Legends plug and that I'm a huge sellout, and I don't want that yet.
Guys, I'm so famous. I already got Ray to shove money down my throat.
To be fair, Raid doesn't need you to be famous; just needs you to have no shame.
That's true. Fully voiced storyline, by the way.
With
Anyway.
console level graphics.
Console level graphics. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
with real cool heroes to play as.
Tons of them.
I myself have totally been playing this for several days now.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Look at this gameplay footage. That came off of my phone. But yeah. This has been a Twitch stream, and tune in next Wednesday for the exciting conclusion of Taurus and Henders case file number 174.
Now, just remember, folks, is it Wednesday, my dudes?
Stop it. I'm leaving.
I'm closing the stream now. Bye.